Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Lopez and today we're gonna learn how to make a tonal drawing of an eye. Before you start your work, you need four things. You need to prepare your space, get your materials, make up a playlist if you want to listen to music, and set up some time. For today's task, we just need a couple of materials. You need an A5 piece of paper. This can be a reused piece of paper or blank piece of paper or striped piece of paper. And you would also need an HB pencil. Now HB is normally the pencil that you get from school. If you have access to other range of tonal pencils, that would be fantastic too, but it's not necessary. So just paper and pencil. If you're using tonal pencils, remember that they have some letters in them, H and B. H for harder, B for blacker. So H for your guidelines and B for your shadows. Okay, test them and see how they work. And finally, you will need a photo of an eye. So you can get this in different ways. You can search for one. If you do this, I would suggest try to find one that's black and white because it will be easier to know where the shadows and the highlights are. If you want to take some photos of your own eye, try to take a lot of them. Try to play with light. Try to use maybe the flashlight of your phone to have more highlights and contrast. Or you can ask someone to model for you. If they don't want to model, you can always use a mirror. The first thing that you want to do when you're doing your eye drawing is to check the main shape of the eye. So think about the proportion, think about the height and the width of your eye and how many times your height would fit on your width. When you're drawing the iris of the eye, there's a common mistake. People normally tend to show where the circle ends, and if you look at the eyes really closely, it's really rare that you can actually see the bottom part of the eye. It's just in some perspectives or some point of view that you can actually see that, so careful with that. Once you have the main shape and the iris and the pupil drawn, remember to mark where the reflections are. Now, it is very common that you have a really clear white point in the eye, a really clear reflection on the eye. So make sure to mark this and leave this white when you're adding some color to it. Also, if it helps, try to draw, you'll have a shadow across the whole eye because you have your eyelid just above your just above your eye. So make a line, a soft line where that shadow goes. When you're working on your iris, you need to realize that it's not a clear surface. It's made with a lot of texture, and this is because it's a muscle and the lines go towards the pupil. So make sure that you add a texture, you're working towards the pupil. Yeah, just a lot of lines overlapping each other. Check where they're darker. I think normally is the edge around the circle that is darker, and they get clearer down the middle. Another thing that is important to remember is that that white part on your eye is not completely white. It will have some shadows on some parts. So normally on the edges, on the both left and right of the eye, you have some shadow, and that will help you give some volume and make the eye looks round. It's also important to remember that the skin around your eye has some volume, so you will have two lines making the bottom line of the eye, and you will have to add some color to them to give them some volume. Remember to make sure that you add some tone to the skin before you add the eyelashes and the eyebrows. This is very important. Make sure that you have the color on the eyelids, the color on the eyebrows, the color around your skin before doing the eyelashes and the eyebrows. Finally, when you're doing the eyelashes and the eyebrows, you need to do one by one. You're doing one hair at a time, and you're starting from the part that is closer to the skin and moving towards the outside. Now, when you're doing the eyelashes, before you draw them, check where they start and where they end. If you don't do this, you're gonna end up with either eyelashes that are too short or too long, and your eye will look weird. And please remember to observe when you're doing the eyelashes on the bottom part of the eye. You don't have that many, it's just a few of them. If you do too many, it looks just awful. So careful with that too. Okay, have fun.